So if you're back, I assume you've finished all of this part. We're ready to proceed. Now I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball, and you that have been with me for a while know that every now and then, well, maybe even more than every now and then, I am going to use purple for some shading. If you'll go outside on a nice bright sunny day and look at your shadow and think purple, it really does almost look purple. Now, I don't want a bluish purple. I want a real deep purple. It's not bad. See if there's anything else in here that's any darker. Because just a good dark purple, a true purple, will work wonders. And you might have to flip through your colors a little bit. I can just look here and guess, 57 or 53 or 91. And yeah, so it ends up with the 91. I'm wondering if that 53 would be dark enough. You know what? I'm going to go a little daring. I'm going to go number 91. Again, I'm with my Marco Renoirs. So, go over here and I'm using 91. We are doing this page. It's available on my Etsy if you're just now joining me. This is the Etsy name of my shop and everything. But I encourage you to stop if you've not been through part 1 and go back and pick up part 1, because we talk about making things rounded and how we've shadowed more around the outside and at the bottom so it tucks under the top here, and lighter down through the middle. So go back and catch that if you haven't. Now I'm going to start ever so lightly. I mean really lightly. Yep, the whole thing, even on that tealy color. Okay, it's so light you might not be able to see it yet. But that's really what we want, is that really light touch. And I probably should have started at the bottom so my heavier hand would have been there instead of right there. Do you see how it's heavier right here? But I'm just going to do it again, and this time be even softer, if I can, with my circles. See, you get to watch me do mine first, and then if there's any mistakes, you know what to fix before you do yours. Okay, then I'm going to come up the other side, same thing, because we want it to be just slightly more shadowed. And I'm doing this tip also because this ornament comes down to a cone at the bottom. So the midsection is larger, which means it would be shadowing over the bottom. That's right. See, I've got the right touch on there now. I'm not going too dark. Just light little circles. I do want a little darker in here. I just really want to push that to the back so that it looks rounded. And see, it looks like a shadow. It doesn't look like bright in your face purple like you would think it would. Excuse me. Now I am going to come in with the lighter purple or the lighter orange that I used, and I'm going to blend that just a little. Just a bit. Okay, before and after. Okay. Can you see this? Okay, and then look at this. So the before and after, it's not a drastic change, but it's just enough of one that it just makes it look a little better if we go ahead and do that blending. Whoops, I really got outside the line there. So erase that. Erase it as you do it. That way you don't have to come back later and erase a bunch of stuff. Okay, and then I'm looking for the teals that I used earlier. I think this is it. Double check my number. 68, yes. So then I'll do the same thing with this. Can you see what I'm doing? Just doing the circles. It's just doing a little bit of blending, so it's not quite as in your face. Makes it a little smoother looking. Okay, but now see, we've got it where it looks more rounded because that outside is just a little more shaded. So look at this one versus this one. See how this looks a little darker down in here? See how this does not have that same amount or degree of darkness? That's what I'm talking about. So it's ever so slightly, but in doing that, you're really wrapping those ornaments. Okay, we're really wrapping them to the back. So again, it's just the little circles, and it's really taking your time with it. If you go fast on this part, you may end up with a hot mess. So don't rush this part of it. Okay, just really take your time. This is down at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and do all the way across here. And then just kind of slowly come back up. And that should look like it's a shadow from the big part here. Think, let's see, what's a good illustration? I don't want to offend anybody. I was going to say, think back to when you were pregnant and you couldn't see your toes. Everything was shadowed, but I realize a lot of our ladies have not had babies, and that's fine too. Santa Claus trying to look at his toes. It's going to be all shadowed down there because of his nice jolly tummy. Okay. Feel like I'm still not getting that illustration I want. And I am going to darken this a little. I just think that could be pushed even further back. But you notice how I'm doing a little at a time. I don't want to try to darken this all at once because I don't want it to end up purple. I do want it to end up looking shaded. Now, because I already blended that the first time, and now I'm staying close to the edges, I really don't need to blend that again. I do want to get a little more down in here too. Okay, so now taking those lighter colors, I will blend here a little and coming in and just blending that. I'm just going in big circle, or an oval rather, just to blend that a bit, just to soften it some at those edges. And if some of it shows, then that's fine too, because I am trying to make those shadows. Now I should quit laying that other one down. Was this it? No, this is it. I have stuff out still from the coloring page before this, from when I did the video, and I really just need to take the time to stop and clean up my workspace, but I've not yet done that. I have candles and salt and pepper shakers across the other side of the table, getting those all painted up. So, there we go. Can you see that now? How it looks like it's a little more rounded. Okay, look at these around that outer edge versus this one. You should be able to tell difference in that, where there's some shadow here, and up here there's nothing. So let's go fix that one next. Keep these colors pulled. I know I'm going to need them. Okay, so just light touch, go up under, because we know that's going to be shadowed up under there, because it's underneath that little cap. Second layer through here is much lighter than that first layer through. Can you see the difference in those two? Okay, this one's got the shadow. This is just flat. Even though we went ahead and shadowed with their own colors to start with, this extra shadow is just really going to help poke that back even further. Now this is behind these. So if something's behind, it generally gets shadowed. Okay. There we go. See these two pencils? This one's behind. Do you see how this one has a shadow on it right there? Well, that's what we did here, but they were closer, so see how that shadow's right under there? That's what we were doing. Okay? That was it. I feel like if I can explain it to you, maybe it will click for you and just become more natural for you to do it. Okay? So when something is behind, it's going to generally have some sort of a shadow fall on it. So think about that as you're doing your pictures. Okay? So now they should all start to look a little more rounded to you. There's one more thing I can do to really pop this forward, and it's not going to do much because I've already pretty solidly colored these. And I'm going to go right down through the middle, whatever color it is, doesn't matter, I'm still going right over the top of it. I'm using my white. And I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom because that's down under. Okay. Whoops, I'm sorry. Just bumped the whole thing. It's down under, so down here is going to be shadowed. Okay, as it comes around. And there's not a big difference in this. It's just a little bit of highlight down through that center. And I can put that in with white. Okay. Same thing here, find center. You don't want this to be white in your face, so make sure that you have already filled in almost all the tooth on your paper. You should barely be able to see this, okay? You just want it ever so slightly there, but it's in the details, y'all. The little details at the end. So like when you're getting dressed and you put on jewelry at the end, it's those little details that finish you off. Okay? It's the little details here that make it rounded and that shine and glimmer. I'm not going to worry about any of my tops yet. Now it took us 13 minutes just to finish that up. Let's see, what other colors do we want? I'm thinking I still like this and I still like that. I'm wondering about white ornaments with red, big dots on them. But I don't really want a white ornament because then it means I've got to do all my background. And I can kind of keep my background white if I do everything else. So let's do the purple and yellow on these, just like they are. Get that over out of the way. And with the yellow being that small, the only thing we're going to need a second yellow for is for some shading. So I've grabbed 25 and 19. The yellows are, let's see, there's a black pencil here. Let's use this yellow gel pen. I know these aren't going to write real well on here. They're not going to show up enough. So 19 and 25. These are Super Doodles gel pens, and I love them. So, all right, so the first thing we'll do is we'll take the lighter one, which is number 25, and we're going to do all this little silly bit. Why I drew all this in this ornament, I don't know, but I did. So, alas, we get to color it all in. Now your other option, once you've purchased this page, is to white this out and just do it solid. White it out on your copy, do a cheap copy on just regular typing paper. White out anything you don't like, and then run that through your copier onto your cardstock, onto your good copy, and then put in whatever you want. Yeah. I take this same pattern and I paint it on canvas. I paint it on Lazy Susans. Just whatever I'm doing for shows in the fall. You know, wherever I can implement it, it gets painted. So, this is not my first rodeo with this. Not at all. Okay, there's a little piece there that's part of this. Then there's a little piece here, which is part of this. I really did think it all through when I was drawing the little squiggles, though. I know how some people like their coloring sheets a little more difficult. So maybe this is more for them. Anyway, it's not really difficult. It just gets a little involved. This would also be a good place to use your gel pens. But if you do, save this part for last. You don't want to drag through a gel pen while you're trying to do the outside area. It would be easier if you're doing gel pens to do this part first, then come back and do this. The reason I'm doing the inside here before the outside is because that purple will color anywhere where I color outside the lines, and the yellow would not. Plus, if I did the yellow last and I accidentally hit that purple, it's a darker color, it would drag through, and I don't want to do that. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the shading with this other yellow. Okay, so anything that's tucked under or behind is getting this darker yellow. And just a little bit, you don't have to go wild on it. Just enough to give a little second shade in there. This is my shadow color. And there's really not, this is a flat star. It's not a rounded as much, so I don't have to go all the way around. If you want yours to be a rounded star, then by all means, you can, here, let's pretend it is. You could just go all the way around. Do not use purple for this part. You will get mud. Now, if you want it darker than what I'm doing, you could come in with a yellowish brown and do that for all the way around. That would work. Okay? So, but yeah, I did not intend for my stars to be wrapped. I intended for them to be flat. But that's okay either way. So, yeah, see, it doesn't show up a lot. It's just a little, but it's there. The purpose is just not to end up with a flat-looking ornament. Okay? That's the main thing, is let's do something to it so it doesn't just look flat. All right. If you look at this and you're not sure what's supposed to be colored and what's not, that's why I started down here first, because as we work our way up, it will become very apparent which gets colored and which does not. Okay, see, I automatically know this is, because this was, this isn't, this is, which means this is. Yeah, no rhyme or reason to some of the stuff I draw. I plan to start drawing some more. I'm not sure if they'll be for the holidays or after, but I know I want to get some more drawing done. So I may even do a few more bookmarks for my Inspire Bible. I'm not sure. Y'all need to let me know what you're looking for in coloring pages, and if I were to draw it, that's a big if, what would you be looking for to purchase over on Etsy? Met a lady at the store one day and she goes, I just cannot find a book with bears in them. I thought, I wonder if I should draw that. I never did because I don't have her information or anything, but anyway, it's just different people collect different things, or maybe a certain scripture is their favorite. So if you fall into one of those categories, let me know. I would love to do something up for you. That's how the other scripture coloring page got on my Etsy. Somebody told me what they were looking for, and I went ahead and drew it up. Not saying I can draw just anything. Let's not go there with it. But I can try. I can do what I can do just to see if I can help. Now, do you know why I'm doing this area? This is right out in the middle of the ornament. Why? Yes, because it's behind this ornament. So that's the shadow. It's yellow, but it's a darker yellow, so it is a shadow. And then we said we were going to pretend this is wrapped, which means I need to color all the way around the outside. Again, these are Marco Renoirs. They are available on Amazon. All you have to do is type in the words Marco, M-A-R-C-O, Renoir, R-E-N-O-I-R, and it will pop up with a couple places that sell them. I bought them personally from the guy that has them for $59, getting the blue off here. And I just have not had any problems with them. I had no breakage or anything. And so that's why I'm telling you specifically who I bought from. I'm not saying anything about the other guy. I have no idea who they even are. I just know that sometimes certain dealers, their stuff is maybe packaged a little different, even through Amazon, yes. I got a tin of colored pencils once that the tin was so flimsy that most of the leads were bent up. In fact, I ended up getting a refund on that when they were so bad. So, I'm just saying, sometimes you get what you pay for, and I know the other person that sells the Marco Renoirs is a little bit cheaper, but I know nothing about that person. The person I dealt with, I got my pencils quickly, and they were all fully intact in a metal tin and really looked nice. And I've been very, very satisfied with these pencils. So, yeah, I would say these pencils are pretty equivalent, if not the same, as the Faber-Castell Polychromos, the oil base, and this is an oil base. And yeah, I would have not had all the other pencils in my possession that I have if I had found these first. I really like them that much. And because they're an oil base and my polychromos are also oil base, I should be able to use them interchangeably in the same areas, you know, even with each other. So I need to pull them and start doing that some. So, are you bored out of your skull yet? I know some of this can be boring. Well, it's been 25 minutes. Not since we did just the yellow, but since we started this part 2, which probably isn't bad since we went back and did all the purple. I like those ornaments so much better. I don't know if you can tell in person what I can, but they look so much better. And see here, this round ornament is on top, so I know it's casting a shadow. And then we're pretending that this is rounded, so I'm going all the way around, and I may pick up a brown and try and see if it gives me even some better shading, and go around this with that also. If I do, I will only do part of it and then finish it when you're back with me. I won't do all of it while you're away because I know you'll want to see what I'm doing, and that's fine. Okay, so it looks like it's wrapped now. And then our other color, we were going to do purple, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these 2 purples, 37 and 59. Sometimes it works well, 37, 59. Sometimes it works well to leave my pencils out like this, because then I've already got colors pulled that look well together. Now wait a minute, these are not both purples. I remember that now. All right, so 91 and 57. Not 37. Let's just look. It's easy just to look it up real quick. 91. Ah, see, totally wrong. 53. 53 is what I'm after. 53 and 91. 53 is my lighter. So now, if we get cut off, the only thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to use number 91 yet. I'm going to use 53, light coat all over all the background. Just like this. Just a light coat. Don't worry about any shading. Okay? We will do that when we come back, because I can almost bet on it that this will time out before I can get all this done. So remember your little circles. And remember how I always say put something underneath what you're coloring so that you don't pick up the imprint of this coloring and put it into your next page. I'm using this nice thick coloring book. Whose is this? This is Nicole Stalker's grayscale book. I need to do something out of that again soon too. But anyway, so just make sure there's something under you, and it'll help everything go smoother also. So just coming in, little circles, take your time. This will take some time. You thought the yellow took time? This is going to take some time because you're going around all that yellow. But yeah, just keep going. And I will see you back here when we're both finished with the yellow, and we'll start the next video then. Okay? Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're learning something. Do the purple around this ornament, okay? But make sure you're doing it very lightly. Start at it light. You can always go heavier. But once you have to start erasing, then it's going to get a little more difficult because you're going to have to repair and put down those other colors that you lifted too. And let's face it, it's different erasing this than it is erasing something that's over the top of other colors too. It's just a whole lot easier if you're erasing one color. You don't want to have to erase 2 or 3. So when you're doing those down there, you be sure that you're starting with that light touch. Okay? It amazes me how this video will cut off when I don't want it to, and when I don't care, it just keeps running. So, but anyway, y'all have a good afternoon. I am going to go upload this one. Grab me a little bit more food. I didn't eat much for lunch. And then I will be back in here and start another video. These are taking almost an hour to upload. So I'm not sure why it's so long, but it may be because they're better quality than what I had on my old phone. Just keep working. If you get tired, stop and take a break. You do not want to mess it up. We're not in a race. I'm going to stop and take a break. So, I think I'm going to go get me some dark chocolate. Ooh, or some sherbet. I've got sherbet in the freezer. Yeah. Some of y'all are thinking it's too cold for sherbet. No, I'm in Texas. I have my long sleeves pushed up. No coats out yet, although it is supposed to storm all weekend. Yep, this is tedious. Do it in sections if you need to. Just keep going. You'll eventually finish. You may even finish before I get the next video uploaded anyway, so you've got time. My videos are not going anywhere as far as I'm aware. I love producing free videos. I don't mind charging you $1.50 for a coloring sheet when the video is also free.